guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So we are here just to have a little bit more of a play with our beautiful beach huts collection that we have been, making some bits and bobs with. So we're just filling our folio now. Now, I don't know about yours, but my folio is looking pretty bursting at the seams already. What I now need to do is make some skinny-ish type pieces to go into my pockets. So if I just pull it in and show you just what I'm referring to. Oops. Okay, so can you see there? It's pretty stuffed already, to be honest. But what is obviously needing stuffing are these pockets here. Now, obviously in an ideal world, I would have popped my journal that we made into those pockets. But unfortunately, my journal actually is too fat, too wide this way to pop into that pocket. So that's turned out a bit of a shame. Obviously that, that had been my intention, but that's fine. I'm just going to slot my journal in here underneath there. So that's how that will sit. But what I do want to do now is obviously make something skinny to go into this pocket. Now, the reason that this pocket is not like the full width, of that envelope, if that makes sense, is because obviously we've glued it down here at the back part, if that makes sense. So technically, the glue's probably spread out a little bit. So the glue is, perhaps even running up to here. So you've actually only got quite a small bit to play with. So bearing that in mind, I'm just going to move the journal out of the way. And, luckily, I mean, these are my background pages that I've got left. I might have other bits, but who knows? They may be buried now on the desk. But I have this piece from the collage sheet, which actually is, perfect. I can make a little skinny sort of journal from this particular piece. So all I'm going to do is fold that in half, like that. Now, obviously, that is a super skinny journal, and you're perhaps thinking, oh, that looks horrible. Let me just trim up that back bit where I had a little bit there overhanging. Okay, so I've trimmed that down, but I'm also going to trim it down slightly. Oops. I'm also going to trim it down slightly in the height of it, because again, I want to make sure it goes into that pocket. So therefore, it will then, it won't look so tall and skinny. So if we chop it down to about here, like that. Although it's still a tall, skinny journal, it doesn't look quite so bizarre because it's not obviously quite so tall and skinny as it originally was. If that makes sense. Right, I've obviously now got to refold this because obviously where I trimmed that back bit up, it's now not looking so great. So I'm just going to trim that down like that. Okay, and then we've got the scraps that we used to make our other journal, which we can form our journal pages. So just folding them in. Let me just pull in some of the others. Got the rest of that document. Oh, that's not great actually. Let me just fold that over and then I'll trim that down, properly. Okay. And then we've got this one here, which we could actually do probably this way around, I think. Like that. Okay. So I hope everybody's staying safe and well. I hope you've been enjoying this little project. Hopefully everybody managed to download the pages and the kit okay, and print that out. So yeah, I hope that you've been having fun crafting along, and you know, that we've got a bit of community spirit going on here. And you know, I know that we do generally have a nice community spirit going on here anyway, but I mean, now it's more important than ever, isn't it, that we all just really keep in communication and, you know, support one another. So yeah, I hope that this has, you know, if you are living alone or anything like that, or, you know, even if it's just the two of you, you know, that still can be very lonely, you know. So yeah, I hope that this has brought a little bit of the outside in, and made you feel sort of not quite so isolated in this, you know, really, well, this scary sort of bizarre time. So yeah, hopefully everybody has been able to just take their mind off things and have a nice time doing this little project. So that's our little pages there. I can get rid of all of these scraps now. And again, you know, if you've got your sewing machine handy, you can obviously stitch your pages in. I'm just going to staple mine. Oops, that won't reach, so let me just grab my big stapler. That'll just save me folding it in. So just going to just staple that in. It's, you know, fine like that. Okay, and then we can finish that off, I think, with one of our little beach huts. Again, when I find my fussy cut pieces, wherever they have gone. There we go. Just chop that one down. Like that. Okay, and oops, I nearly threw the word away. Don't want to do that. If you want to sort of make it stand out a little bit more, we could just layer that maybe onto a bit of book page or something. So again, I'll just tear a little bit down. Just need a little narrow strip. Like that. Okay, so I'm just going to ink up my book page. Like that. Sorry if you can hear that droning. My neighbour's obviously, you know, cutting the grass. So it's still really lovely and sunny here. So so far the staying in has not been too bad, because we have managed to get out in the garden quite a bit. Even our homeschooling lessons have been taking place in the afternoon in the garden. You know, on my shift, they've been taking place in the garden, because it's been so nice that actually it just seems really a shame to be sat indoors. So we've been out in the garden doing our lessons. Obviously, I'm sure that weather's not going to be kind to us for the entire time, but so far so good. So yeah, it's worked out really, really well. So I'm going to just pop my little beach hut on. Just glue that down. Oops. Like that. Okay. So press that down. Now, I did find these flowers in my stash, which I thought, oh, they go quite nicely with this you know, with the colours of this. So I'll just ink that up and see. Oh gosh, look at my inking. Terrible inking there. But I just thought they might look quite sweet on here. Maybe it looks better cut in half. So I'm just going to trim that down. Just see whether we want to layer it or just have one. There we go. So that's quite cute, isn't it? Let's do that. Again, I'm just for some reason just hot gluing this down. There we go. And we'll just then layer that up with the other one. Okay. Oh, cute. And then we could finish that off with that little word in there. For some reason I quite like putting words and things in the centres of flowers. I don't know why, but I think that's kind of a cute thing to do. Admittedly, it probably would be better if it was in the centre of a flower. So perhaps I should resist doing that with that one. Let me just see whether I've got a button or anything that would just be nice in there. Oh, it's probably a bit strange because it's where it's hanging off the page, to be honest. Just having a little bit of a sort of rummage through to see if I've got anything else. Oh, I don't know. What's a little stamped piece? That's maybe better because that's you know, a little bit smaller than the word. So we'll just pop that in there, I think. Okay, and then should we just pop a bit of lace on here, because obviously it wouldn't be much fun with no lace, would it? Just trim that down. Or do we want the lace going down the spine? Do you know what? Weirdly, I just think actually, do I even want lace on this? I know, that's just shocking. Shocking if I was going to make a piece without lace, but let me just trim that header off and see whether it, you know. Do you know what? I don't think I actually like this flower here now. I'm wishing I hadn't stuck that flower on. I wonder if I can peel that off at all. I mean, obviously that's going to make a bit of a mess here, but I might be able to cover it up. So just peeling that off as gently as possible. I thought, oh, brilliant, I've found some flowers that would just go, but do you know what? I don't think I actually like it on there after all. So I'm going to just, actually, I'm going to put it down to the side because I've got another project going on at the moment, which I've not been filming, but maybe I will come on and do a little bit of filming on it. And actually, I think that would work nicely there. That works much better for me. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I just prefer it like that. And that flower, honestly, it was, you know, it would just work perfectly with the other thing that I've got on the go. So, yeah. I mean, sometimes I just think you're not happy when you know, stick things down. And if you're not happy, just peel them off and then try and do something else to cover up where they've come off. You know, if it makes a mark. I mean, sometimes obviously you're lucky and it doesn't make a mark, but if it does, just go for it anyway. I'm just going to check that I'm still filming. I'm in frame. Just go for it anyway and then just try and cover it up, because I don't know about you guys, but I just think if I'm not happy with something first off, I'm not going to suddenly get happy with it. I will stay not happy with it, and every time I look at that piece, all I will see is the bit that I'm not happy with. I won't see anything else. I will only focus on that one bit. So, and I pretty sure I'm not alone there. I think we're all quite similar in that, you know, we're our own worst critics, aren't we? And, you know, we probably see things that other people perhaps wouldn't even notice. But if you're not happy with it straight away, you probably aren't going to be. So a little skinny journal to just slot into that pocket. Oops, let me just, again, clear off my table a little bit. Okay, so let's pull in what else we have left from our background pages. So we've got these pieces here, and I also have this piece which we haven't used at all yet. So let's have a look and see what we could do with these. So this one I was trying to keep really as much as I could. So as you could see, that lovely beach hut. Let's just see. I think I'm going to have to just, you know, rethink, and I'm just going to, I think, make that into a little foldy flip, because trying to preserve that beach hut is not going to work with the size of the folio, if that makes sense. If it were a journal, it would be fine, because of course that would, you know, that would sit happily on a page. But as this is that skinny folio, that's just not going to work, is it? So let's just trim that down like that. Okay. Just squash my edges down. So I'm just going to have this as like a little fold out piece. So again, I think what I'll do is just pop a few sheets inside there. Now that's obviously going to be up the wrong way, which maybe isn't ideal. So let me just see whether I've got some other sheets. Oh, thought I had a few more, but maybe not. I've got the rest of that one. Okay, oops. Right, this one will work. This one is like perfect size, in fact. So just trim that down slightly. Like that. And then I'm just going to, yeah, join these with that. So just like that. I'll just trim that down here. And I mean, obviously that's not got a whole bunch of pages, but to be honest, 3 is probably actually enough, because if you put too many, you know, it's not going to want to close very well. So I'm just going to stick with the 3. Just staple that along there. And then we can just, you know, glue that in. I might need to take it down slightly more, just so it doesn't sort of tamper with the closing. Okay, so I'll try and keep that up, otherwise it's not that easy to see where the fold was. So just going to run the glue along here like that. I'm just going to pop that in just there like that. Okay, get rid of these bits, and then I think what would be cute, again, I don't know whether this is going to fit. Is that going to fit? Let me just cut this little line of beach huts down. So we'll just cut along the bottom. So again, just snipping into those roofs. Oops, I'll just get rid of that one. Like that. because I just want to see whether this would be the right height for that flap. It probably is too tall, and annoyingly probably just by like a fraction, but we'll just see. But it might be that we could just trim it down a bit, you know, so it's the right height. Because I thought, oh, wouldn't that look cute running along that flap? Oh, so I had the project, didn't I, of painting my chest of drawers, well, cupboard, the towel cupboard from the landing. And I was really lucky, my paint arrived and everything. And oh, the lady just wrote a lovely note on there saying, you know, she really appreciated the order, obviously, you know, in these kind of difficult times. Obviously, you know, I assume orders are perhaps not really flourishing at the moment. And she also wrote, stay safe on her note, which, I mean, just those little bits of kindness just really do make such a world of difference, don't they? Anyway, so the paint arrived. I emailed her and said thank you, you know, for that really, you know, much appreciated little note that she'd included. That's literally just the right height, amazingly. So, yeah, I can't believe that actually worked out. Now, sorry, I'm just waffling here a little bit. I might have to actually hot glue this on at the bottom because it's a little bit on the curly side. So I just want to make sure it's going to stick down properly. So yeah, I might have to help it out by using the hot glue, I think, on that very edge. So I'm just going to wet glue like the pointy bits and then give it a helping hand, I think, with the hot glue for the strip at the bottom. Anyway, so yeah, my paint arrived and everything, so that was awesome. But then obviously, you know, trying to entertain my son, he was like, oh, what should I do? What should I do? You know, this is my 17-year-old who obviously is, you know, sort of normally at work now. So I, in the end, had to say to him, well, if you want to, and you promise you can make a good job of it, you know, you can paint that cupboard. So that's what he's been doing. So, yep, I haven't now been able to be painting it myself. So I know that I had said about, oh, I might do a video. Well, I won't be because I'm not even the person painting it. But having said that, I did actually order from Amazon another different colour. I only ordered from Amazon because the other brand didn't have a colour that looked quite right. But yeah, another colour, which I might do. I've got a mirror in the hall and I've got a really tiny, like, round chest of drawers thing at the bottom of the stairs. So I may paint those in the blue. I don't know. It feels like a little bit brave, painting them in like a colour, if you see what I mean, rather than just like grey or ivory. So I'm still debating whether to do that or not. But if I do, I may be able to do those on film. Not that I know whether anyone actually would be interested in watching it, but yeah, just in case anyone wonders what happened to that plan. I mean, you know, in fairness, I haven't really had time to be doing it myself at the moment anyway, because obviously every moment I'm just filming this series to get this up as quick as I can. But yeah, when I finish doing this series and I'm, you know, when I get around to actually going out to paint the chest of drawers, I won't be painting the chest of drawers because my son is painting it now. Oh, and it's annoying, isn't it? Because of course I'm watching him do it, and you know, every 5 minutes I'm obviously butting in, sort of saying, oh, you know, I can just see a little line there, or oh, you've missed that bit. And you know, he's obviously like, oh, God's sake, Mum, you know. And so yeah, I'm obviously getting on his nerves a little bit. But you know, we've not had a fallout or anything, thankfully. But like this morning, even before I've come up to do my videos, I said, you know, if you're planning on painting that, you know, this is possibly the top coat now. So you know, make sure you do it extra neat and carefully. Let's just say his facial expression kind of said it all. So, yes, he obviously thought he didn't need my advice, you know, or my telling him what to do. And he probably doesn't. He's probably right. But, of course, when you're watching it, you know, it's hard to keep quiet sometimes, isn't it? Right, I was going to have this as a closure here. But I might just, instead, I might make a paperclip, and I might make the paperclip from this beach hut and use that instead. So let's just trim that down. That. Because that's quite cute, isn't it? To then have as a little paperclip there. So what I'm going to do is, I think, okay, let me just grab in, you know, just a piece of card basically. And all I'm going to do, is this all rubbish? No, that's not, it's got that cute flower. So all I'm going to do is pop this on here like that, and then I will trim around the edge of the beach hut again. I mean, actually it looks quite cute, just even on the ivory, to be fair. But yeah, I will go round that. So let me decide which way round I want it. Okay, probably that way. So I'm just going to glue that down and then I think go round the beach hut piece itself. And again, you know, I mean, I really like to use my hot glue when I'm doing paper clips and things because it's instant. So it's, you know, an instant grab. And I don't have to worry then about waiting for it to dry or anything. It's grabbed onto there straight away. Oh, lucky I wasn't going to be trying to have it on the background because that would not be looking so great, would it? Okay. So I'm just going to trim that around again now. Like that. Oops. Okay. So I'm just going to use that as my closure for that. And how cute does that look? I think it needs just trimming down slightly more at the bottom actually. Okay, and I'm just going to go round the top a little bit because where obviously that paper clip is, it obviously is round. So having that sort of pointy piece of roof, it was just a bit of a vulnerable spot that was likely to get damaged. So we'll just use it like that. How cute does that look? Oh, really so sweet. Right, love how that looks. Okay, let me just clear this stuff again from the desk. Okay. Right, how are we getting on time-wise? Okay, so I have this piece of the background page, which I haven't touched yet at all. Again, I was kind of hanging on to it really because I really love this one. But again, ridiculous behaviour. I don't know why I'm doing that either. So I'm just going to cut it down, you know, along what looks like sort of the middle-ish. And then what I thought we'd do is just make like a file folder. So we're just going to cut that down like that. And then now, if you've got an envelope punch board, obviously you can use your punch board for this. I don't really want to kind of disclude people who haven't got one. So there are other methods that you can use to make, you know, your little tab pieces. But if you've got an envelope punch board, then you can just put your piece in like that against the, what do you call it, the notch bit, to make your notch there. And then if you then move along, this is where I'm going to have gone wrong, isn't it? So put another one in the other side, and then you can just snip along there like that. And then it's up to you how you want to finish that off, because actually, you know, in real life file folders are all different. Sometimes they have what do you call it, like a matching piece behind. Sometimes they are higher at the back, sometimes they're just level at the back. So it's completely up to you how you want to finish that off. I might just go in and do one approximately, you know, just behind it. So we'll just do that one. And again, I should have really checked how big that was. I didn't. Let's just see. Oh gosh, about an inch, I think. So, well, I'm bound to muck this up. So, you know, it doesn't matter. Nobody's going to be, you know, from the file folder police telling me I've done it wrong. So again, just snip your back side down. Your back side? Snip your backside down. That just sounded like really strange, didn't it? Okay, so that's your little file folder pieces there. As I say, I mean, if you haven't got an envelope punch board, you know, to be fair, I mean, I used to make these just kind of freehand, just snipping them. You might have, you know, other methods that you can use, but there's loads of different tutorials on making them. So please don't feel, if you haven't got an envelope punch board, that you can't make something similar. You know, there's lots of other ideas of how to make these. So I'm just going to trim down the sides to level that off a bit. Okay, like that. And then we'll just decorate the front. So again, let's just see what we can put on here. We've got a couple of beach huts still left. Some more fussy cut pieces. I think I actually have still got some other fussy cuts, but they're, as usual, buried now on my desk. So what's going to happen is I'm just going to keep finding them in future projects, and you'll see me keep saying, oh, I've just found a beach hut. You know, I've just stumbled across some of the beach hut pieces. So that's what normally seems to happen. So we'll just trim those down. I love these ones. They're kind of like joined together. Like that. And then I've got some labels here as well, so I could just use a little label. Just cut that round. Okay, so we've got a label, so we could have a label maybe. Does that just look really odd because that label is like really titchy now in comparison to the beach huts? Or perhaps we won't have the beach huts, perhaps we'll have the label. The label looks quite tiny on there, to be honest. So I think we won't bother having the label. I think we will just have the beach huts. So let's have those, and we will maybe put them on a piece of lace. Just trim that down. Again, I'm just going to trim that header piece off. Oops. Okay. Okay, so they look cute there, don't they? So I'm just going to hot glue this down. Yeah, I'm just going to hot glue this down. Just to hold it in place for a moment, and then I will just glue my beach huts on top of that. And again, I'm just going to obviously hot glue those down, and they're just stuck down instantly. I don't have to worry about them, you know, not being firmly attached. So just pop them on. Okay, super cute. And just see whether I want any other lace on here anywhere. I don't know whether I do, but you know, maybe I don't, but we'll just see. Did we want a bit more up there? Is that a bit overkill? Well, I mean, I think you can never have enough lace, to be honest. Oh gosh. I can just picture people watching this thinking, oh, like we didn't know she was going to go for the lace, you know, like we didn't know that she was going to decide that you just can never have enough lace. Yep, I just can never resist. So I've got that little word there, dreams. Let's just see whether that might look cute. Maybe just here. Or, I mean, we could have it there on the file folder tab. Let's just have it here. So again, we just glue that down. Oh, so cute. Okay, right, let me just get rid of those glue threads that are now just like everywhere. My gosh. Stuck all over me, stuck all over the mat, stuck all over everywhere. Oh well, never mind. I have them now attached from my carrier bag right across the desk. So super cute little file folder. So what I'm going to do now, I think, is make a little paper clip. So this is just literally a scrap that, you know, from one of the background pages that we'd cut out that was just loitering around on my desk there. So I'm just going to trim that down. And then what we can do, let me just take one of my tiny paper clips. Okay. Probably want it that way up, I think. Right. I just need to think quickly how this is going to be going in. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, oops, I'm going to just take a little bit of sort of scrap just to cover up here, just so you know, to avoid things getting hooked on it really. So let me just see what in the way of scrap I have here. I mean, obviously I have lots of scrap here, but whether or not I can now find any another thing. Right, here we go, some book page. So I'm just going to take that to pop over the top of that paper clip, basically. So what I'm going to do is glue it around the edges with the wet glue, but then I'm going to hot glue it actually over the, you know, the paper clip itself. So I'll just, oops, hot glue the paper clip there. Let me just pop that down like that. Okay. Okie dokie. And then I'm just going to fold this over and hot glue it around these two sides. So, I mean, I have done these before, I think, on the mass making. So, you know, you may well have seen them on the mass making. Like that. Okay. And then we just have a little pocket paper clip there. So super cute. I'm just going to trim it down at the bottom again a bit more because that's looking horribly crooked. Okay, let me get rid of my scraps again. Going to give my desk a clean off after this project. Well, not my desk. That's just not true at all, is it? My mat, I'm going to give a clean off. Yes, of course I wouldn't be cleaning my desk, would I? So I'm just going to pop this, I think, on here. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm going to pop this on here. Just like that. Okay, and then I think we'll just take a really teensy bit of lace, trim that right the way down. We'll just pop that down along the bottom there. Okay. So cute. And then obviously, I mean, this is titchy, and you know, if you watch my channel a lot, you'll know I don't really do titchy, and you know, don't find working with tiny things very easy. But let's just pop a little bit of bling on there to finish that little cute pocket. Okay, so that's that. We didn't put any on the file folder, which do we want to? I don't know really as that needs it. Strangely. Oh, well, let's put a bit down there actually, because, you know, again, of course, it does look better. It does look better with the bling, doesn't it? I mean, that's my opinion. So we're just going to then pop that down there. Okay, super cute. So all I'm going to do is with the this little thing, journaling card, sorry, I have glue literally hanging all over me, so I do apologise for that. I'm just going to pop it on to something to make something to pop into this pocket. So here I've just got a little bit of that background page from earlier, you know, that we've used previously, and I think all I'm going to do is make like a little foldy piece. I mean, actually we could even make a little titchy one like that with like a little flap. Oh, how cute is that? How cute and how fiddly. And then we could just, oh, can we even have a little foldy little tab to keep that closed? Wow, this is super fiddly for me, I must say. Right. So let me just fold this in. Make sure it's folded well. And then just going to pop this one down here. Oh my gosh, this is probably like the tiniest thing I've ever made. Well, the tiniest thing I've ever made on film anyway, I'm pretty sure. Okay. I don't think I'm going to be converted over to the, you know, making teeny things. I don't think teeny things really are for me, but it is cute, and actually I do feel kind of excited at having made something so titchy and cute. Right, So I'm just going to trim it down here at the edge because that's overhanging slightly. And then we'll just trim it down at this edge as well. Oh my goodness, how cute is that? Oh, you see, now I can see why people like making the tiny things. Because that is kind of cute, I must admit. So you've got the tuck bit here, and then it just folds out. Oh, that's so sweet, isn't it? Oh, well, until you come to then tuck it back in, and it's a bit too fiddly to do. For me, anyway. So that there is just going to tuck in to our pocket, and actually even that is, look, like too wide for that pocket because it's obviously been glued. I wonder whether I could take it in slightly more at those sides. So just go in slightly more because obviously that would be fun to go in that way, really. There we go. Okay, so it is obviously sticking out at the top, but you know, I don't mind that. And that can just hold our file folder closed. Okay, so hopefully you have something, you know, coming together similarly to, you know, what we've produced here. So all I'm going to do now, I think, is literally cut out the rest of my journaling cards that I have left. Now mine, unfortunately, I have printed quite a few on the backs of other things, so I'm just going to cut them out and back them onto plainer pages or card or whatever. I might add like a couple of flowers or something like that, I don't know. But I'm not going to do that on film because, to be honest, that will just be the most dull video on the planet for you guys to watch, I'm pretty sure. And then obviously we'll come back and we'll just then stuff the folio with all the pieces that we've made. And yeah, hopefully you guys will have something similar. So I will see you soon. Right guys, I am back. So this is my whole pile of goodies. As you can see, I just popped a little bow on there on the front of my folio. Just thought that looked pretty and just, you know, added a little something. So we can now kind of get on with filling and stuffing our folio. So if I open it up, you know, what is technically like the front of it, we've got, obviously, if you recall, that gorgeous flippy pad in there. And then I've just made a little foldy piece here with just, you know, a scrap left from the background paper. So I'm going to pop that in. We made that little pocket, so I'm just going to pop that in there. And then we've got this pocket here, which actually we've got this pocket here, which I nearly forgot about. So let's just see whether, right, let's pop this one in here. Oops, like that. Then we made this long skinny sort of journal. I'm going to pop that in there. Then I already popped in this piece here in this center pocket there. We've got a belly band piece here. So what I did again, I just took that little remainder of the background page and just folded it over, just stuck Treasured Memories there and just a little strip of the bunting there. So I'm just going to pop that in that belly band piece. Actually, I'm going to do it from underneath because I added this as a flap, so it could well get caught on there. So that's up there. Then we've got this little pocket here. So I took, you know, that picture that I just absolutely love so much. Hopefully that's going to fit. Okay, so that can go just in that pocket here. And then turning the folio over, I just completed decorating the back because if you recall, we hadn't kind of finished that. So I just popped a beach hut on there and just the word inspire and the flower up there. And I just thought the rest was quite nice, just plain, to be honest. Then, as I say, I just, I've glued this lace down. I'd left it flapping over and I've actually glued it on here now so that it reinforces this fold out piece. And then the journal that we made, I've just tucked in to this piece here. We've got a pocket in the back, so I can just pop, I made a little, where, wherever it is, a little sort of foldy piece. So this was again one of the photos, and I just had a scrap of one of the background pages. So what I did, I've made it a fold out this way, just because I thought that was nice for a difference. And I stuck one of the photographs on, a label and a flower, and then you've got journaling space in there. So I'm just going to tuck that into that pocket there of the journal. So that's our little journal piece there. Then we've got a pocket here. So again, I'm just going to tuck in a couple of the journaling cards. Now what I did with one of the other photographs, I popped that on to, again, another just scrap of the background page. And then I've popped on a vintage postage stamp and postmarked it, you know, with a stamp and some ink. And then I just glued across the bunting across the front. So I love how that looks. It just, oh, really simple, but looks so, so cute. And then I just glued one of those flowers on the back there for, you know, just for some fun. So that's those pieces there. I'm just going to tuck those into this long pocket here. And then on here we've got that other pocket, so I need something skinny. I don't know now whether I've got anything skinny enough. Well, hopefully this will. So this was again one of the photos. I've just backed it on, actually it was some envelope, inked around it and just popped a couple of the bunting flags on there. So that just tucks into that pocket like that, there, like that. Now, just going back through, because now I can see where everything fits, I can now add things, you know, more things. So obviously I've got these journaling cards here, which currently, you know, aren't anywhere, if you see what I mean. So if I just take those, and what we can do, we can just attach a couple of those in our file folder, like that. And that's obviously paper clipped together anyway. And then I don't think that file folder is going to actually tuck into a pocket. So I probably will just have my journal tucked in here. That will be folded over like that. And then on this side, I've got that gorgeous little piece that we made with the napkin. So I might just tuck that in here with this fold out piece like that. And then we've got another journaling card, so I'm just going to tuck that in there. And then probably what I'll do is I'll just leave these two pieces that we made just literally floating. I was going to say on the top, but of course then I'm not going to be able to actually get to it. So not on the top, oops, but possibly on the inside there. No, maybe one on the inside there. Oh, it's turned out so fat I literally can't fit pieces in. Oh, you see, this is always the problem, isn't it? Because it's very hard to rein yourselves in, you know, when you're creating. And you just create more and more, and that's how these things get bigger and bigger. Well, I'm just going to have them in there. So, I mean, as you can see, it's huge now. So much for being something you could just, you know, stuff in the post kind of thin. But, you know, I love it. It's, you know, got lots of interesting bits to look at. So just going to close that over with my what do you call it? My baker's twine, and tie that round, which now I'm thinking I made a mistake there because it now is obviously glued onto the front cover. So I don't have very much to actually hook it round, unfortunately, because I forgot to add the other, you know, the second circle. So I'm just going to have to peel that up slightly and hook that round. Well, oh, why do we do things like, well, probably other people don't do things like this, but why do I do things like this? And the amount of times that I do things like this as well, it's so frustrating. Right. So what I needed to have done, which I obviously totally didn't think when I was doing it, was I should have glued down a second circle. And then obviously this would have wrapped round in between the circles like we did with the napkin envelope. But obviously I was kind of busy trying to film. I mean, this is just a feeble excuse, I know, but busy trying to film all these videos so that I had them ready to upload, you know, in a sort of series. And I just wanted to have them all ready just in case anything happened and I couldn't, you know, get filming the rest. Well, that's obviously, you know, not ideal, but it's fine. It works okay. So that's our finished folio. I will probably do like a flip through, so it will be going in my shop and I will do a proper flip through. Obviously most of you have seen it all, we've kind of done it all together, but I will do a sort of finished flip through for those people who didn't join in, or, you know, maybe you made something else and maybe you'd like to have a go at making one of these, I don't know. But yeah, I hope that you've had a real lot of fun. I hope this has made you feel less anxious and less alone, and you know, that we've all had a really nice shared experience on here. So yeah, stay safe everybody, and thank you for joining me. Thanks then, bye.